Sparks fly off. The Golden Knight retreats from blows which are full of the utmost spirit. She must have seen it as an opening. Saber dodges the swinging sword and moves deeper into the enemy's range. If the yell is a rip, the sword is like a comet. It overwhelms the opponent, and he hesitates, but she keeps attacking. The sword keeps moving, and it has destroyed rocks and pierced through the walls. But every blow is blocked by weapons appearing from behind it. Escaping danger, the Golden Knight, Gilgamesh, has another sword in his hand. It is easy to repel that weapon, but she cannot block it straight on. All of the enemy's weapons have unknown abilities. It would be suicidal to block it without knowing its ability. Saber jumps back out of range and catches her breath. Gilgamesh rages himself unhurriedly. Gilgamesh shows no fatigue. For him, this battle is just entertainment. There must be no fatigue or strain when he knows he is going to win. But it's different for Saber. For her, this moment is her only chance of victory, before her enemy becomes serious. She has to defeat Gilgamesh before he takes out Ea, or she will be the one defeated. This is why she has continued to attack him without a thought for saving her energy. She has cornered the enemy like this more than a few times, but still, she could never get past his wall of noble phantasms. The Golden Knight's eyes are not laughing. He is serious. That is wrong. For Saber, such a choice would be a mistake. Space to sorts. The number of noble phantasms behind Gilgamesh increases. She grips her holy sword once again. Actually, there is a way. There's only one, but there is a way to defeat that Golden Knight. It will not succeed unless several conditions are met. Even if she defeats Ea, he will be able to defend against her attack if he has energy left. And the method to defeat Ea will remain unknown until she takes a direct hit from it once more.
いかに鞘が戻ろうとあれを受けては立ち上がれない。
But there is no other way to win. It is a matter of how to grasp that slight chance. Usually, she selects the best choice by instinct and follows that view. But right now, she cannot even feel it with her instincts. Probably because the probability of victory is so low and the chance of a comeback is pretty much zero. But still, she must fight. For Shiro, who abandoned his protection to give her back her sheath, she cannot be defeated here by him. More weapons appear. They move without Gilgamesh touching them, and they aim at Saber. The weapons whose handles were only visible before all show blades now, and await their master's orders. This is Knight's way of fighting. From the beginning, Gilgamesh has never been a swordsman. These noble phantasms are produced in the air and become bullets as their master commands. This is why he's called Archer. The servant is an archer with the strongest arrows. With one command, the Godspeed rain of swords begins. Each one has fatal power. She eludes every one of them like a falling leaf. A sword from the front, a spear from the left, a pole arm from below and above, a three-edged sword arcing and attacking from behind. A swing from a hammer, bigger than she is. She blocks, repels, dodges, twists, and her body away from the last attack. Breathing hard, Saber recovers the stance she was driven out of. In that instant, she sees them behind her enemy. Behind Gilgamesh. The noble phantasms are already produced. 47 of them! She jumps full force. Many noble phantasms stab into the ground as not to let her escape. In the reign of Noble Phantasm, she is hit time after time. Her armor is destroyed, her gauntlet pierced, and even the pierces covering her feet are pierced. Pierced. Saber manages to avoid a fatal wound in this danger, but then sees the worst thing possible. On the other side of the reign of Noble Phantasms, as if to finish off a fleeing enemy, Gilgamesh is pulling out his favorite sword. She stops her jump. She lands right away and pours magical energy into her holy sword. But will it be in time? Wind roars, the blade of light is revealed, and she raises her sword without waiting for the wind to fully unseal. She does not even bother with the reign of Noble Phantasm and swings her holy sword with all the speed possible. But it is too late. Pounding through his own Noble Phantasm, Gilgamesh swings his sword. Yeah, I kick away the mucus around my ankle. My clothes are burnt away and my skin is exposed. jump back from the striking tentacles. I can't feel my right ankle. I can't even tell if it's there, but I jump into an open field in front of me. I check my body as I roll. Ankle. All right, it's still there. I just can't feel it. If it's there, I should be able to run. I jump in a different direction again to avoid the striking mud. I hear a splashing sound right next to me. The smell of the ground burning forces my dizzy head awake and fire runs up my back. I shake it off and jump to an empty space. That must have been the end of this attack. The black mud that was surrounding me has disappeared from view for now. I bite my lip. I ran so much, but in the end, I'm pushed back to here again. I breathe hard and look at him so as not to lose in spirit. Kotomine has not moved at all. He has just watched me run around. No matter how hard I breathe, my heart won't calm down. It's saying it's at its limit and it needs rest. It's about to go out on its own if I don't let it rest. I can't do anything. I can't get near Kotomine, nor get through that black mud. I'm not going to hold back on using the projection magic. If I can't move forward, I can reproduce Saber Sword again. It'll surely be able to slice through the black mud, and I can go straight for Kotomine.
なんだそれで終わりか諦めたのならそうと言え
Lots of mud comes splashing toward me, telling me I cannot let myself stop. I rage myself and barely dodge the mud. The mud itself isn't too bad. It's slow compared to Saber Shinai, and it only comes where it's aimed, so it's easy to dodge. But that's only true when there's only one of them. I can't deal with tens of mud attacks, and the ones that come from behind me, the instant I dodge them. As a result, I can only move around. Even then, mud covers me bit by bit. There's no time to rest. I can't reproduce a sword like this. Projection magic tracing a weapon from the beginning requires at least 1 minute of concentration. If I show such an opening, I'll be melted down to my bones. Parts of my body covered with mud have lost sensation. The only good thing is that I don't feel any pain, but I won't know if I'm dead or not when the mud covers my whole body. I'm finished when that happens, and most of all, I'll have melted away by then. All I can do is run. I know it's only a matter of time, even if I do, but I have to keep running for now. I won't have any luck getting near Kotomine while I'm dodging this mud. I can't get close now. Waiting behind Kotomine is a pool of mud. If there's any chance of getting him, it'll be when I do something about this mud. I can't believe it. Who on earth would trip at a time like this? Kotomine looks down at me like trash. He points his finger at me, and many snakes show their veins. I get up. I try to get up, but fall again. I fall. I fall. The snakes are coming. But I still fall. Why? 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 Black mud comes from my neck. Why? Oh, I see why. My right ankle is unbelievably black.
そこまでか。少しは楽しめると期待したが、所詮は桐次の息子。つくづく益にならぬ連中だ。
I raise my head. I'm still conscious. My wrists and neck are held by mud like chains, but I still retain my senses.
なんでとどめを刺さない。
無論すぐ終わらせると。だがそれでは芸がなかろう。お前は桐次の贋作だからな。奴に受けた10年前の負債はお前の死で返してもらう。
The skin with mud on it is burnt. Feels like acid, slowly seeping through my pores on my skin. Grit my teeth, bare it, and check on my right ankle. It's totally black. I can't feel it, nor can I move it at all. I'll have to take the mud out of my body or put magical energy into it to move the clotted blood in there. Either way, the moment I move it, all the muscles in my right ankle will be destroyed.
そうかよ。そりゃ構わないが、お前なんだってそこまで桐次を目の敵にするんだ。桐次に聖杯を壊されたことがよっぽど悔しかったのか。
近親憎悪というやつだ。私と桐次は似ていたからだ。奴の行為は全てが勘に触ったよ。ちょうどお前が私に嫌悪を抱くのと変わらない。
ふざけるな。桐次とお前が似ているなんて間違っても口にするな。
I raise my body up with my arms and glare at him. I don't know what's so funny, but he makes that evil smile.
なるほど。お前にとってはそうだ。何しろ奴は私を見逃すほどの善人だったからだ。あの大火災を引き起こした私を倒しただけで命までは
Oh,
取らない。
jeez. That's a mistake.
それが間違いだったことをお前は知ってい
I
るはずだ。
did, in fact, say that was a
桐
mistake.
次さえ私を殺しておけば、あの孤児たちは穏やかな日常を送れたのだろうからだ。反論できまい。だが私にとってもそれは不快な事実だ。私がではない。あれほど冷酷な魔術師だった男が敵を助けたという事実こそが不快だった。
That again. Saber said it too, that Kiritsugu was a great magus, and that he would do anything to accomplish his goals. That's...
奴の過ちはそんなことではない。奴が犯した過ちはな、聖杯を壊しただけでこの戦いが終わったと思い込んだことだ。故に奴はお前に何も伝えず、聖杯戦争は終わったのだと楽観し、この呪いに侵されたまま人生を終えた。道家といえば道家だな。奴は自身を呪った私を見逃し、その果てに数年足らずで命を落とした。自分はことを成したと、聖杯戦争を終わらせたのだと勘違いの達成感を得たままで。
Hold on. Then what? Kiritsugu just died because of this guy? And that peaceful face he had on the night of his death was...
そうだ。最後に聞いておこう。桐次の最後はどうだったのだ、エミヤシロ。息子であるお前に後を託し、何やら満足していったわけ。
He's gonna try to take everything.
なんという道化ぶりだ。何一つとしてなせず息子であるお前に責任を押し付け、さぞ滑稽に消えたのであろうな。てめえ
I kick off the ground. I drove magical energy into my right foot and moved it by force. I ignore my tearing muscles and run to him on all fours like a dog.
そうだ、その程度の気概がなくては話にならん。
Kodamine raises his hand towards the waterfall behind him. What is he thinking? That is the curse so strong that it's visible. You call it magical energy specialized by destroying people. There is nothing you can do with it, as it cannot be reshaped or anything. Anybody that touches that mud will be stained with a strong curse and will be melted as if digested. In the process, the pain and fear before death remain as magical energy and become the next curse to seek out living people. So if you die if you touch it. Anyone who touches it will die unless they can get the mud out of their body. The priest stuck his hand in that waterfall of mud, but he doesn't stop smiling. In his hand is a black darkness. I sense that it is something completely different, and the world is attacked by a sudden flash of light. And when I realize that the light is from Saber's noble phantasm. Three words instantly turn the world black. Her vision, blinded by the light, is filled with darkness. If she were conscious, she would have known it was the ultimate black light. The darkness was only for an instant. But it's not the darkness, but a swarm of grain-sized curses. The darkness swept her body away, and she regained consciousness from the unpleasant sensation. She gasps. The first thing she feels after consciousness returns in pain. Skin that was protected by armor is burned, and her body is pierced and slashed as she is in a miserable state. Lost to Ia. She was cornered, I keep doing that. She was cornered by Gilgamesh's noble phantasm, could not block them, and took a hit from Ia as well. She managed to offset it a bit with Excalibur, but her body was wounded too badly. The wound is healing without magical energy, but even the protection of the sheath will not return her to normal instantly. There.
ここまでだセイバー。よもやその体でまだ敗北を認めぬなどと言わぬだろうな。
Gilgamesh approaches without a scratch. Still on the ground, Saber looks up at her enemy. She cannot do anything right now. Man can do whatever he wants with her.
ギルガメッシュ、今の光は。
In spite of that, this is what she worries about. The flash of light. That black darkness from the back of the compound that covered the earth for an instant. She does not want to think about it, but that darkness might have been aimed at Shiro.
今の光か。お前ならばわかろう。あれは極大の呪いだ。琴峰が聖杯から直接呼び出したのだろうな。聖杯の中にはこの世のすべてを呪うなどというものがあるのだそうだ。先ほどから見えているあのお濁はな、聖杯から漏れている残りカスに過ぎん。その本体を出されたのだ。 お前のマスターとてもはやこの世にはおるまい。
そんなことは。
She concentrates all her power. She knows her body will not move, but she cannot abide just lying on the ground.
嘘だ。シローは生きている。まだちゃんと。
Certainly, she still feels a connection with her master. Is weak and ready to go out, but Emiya Shiro is still alive. So she must go. The enemy is something so unforeseeable, Shiro cannot match it. Using the warmth inside her, she tries to get up. But it was useless. Even the sheath of the holy sword will require a few more minutes to heal her body.
もはや手遅れだ。おとなしくしていろよ、セイバー。お前が何をしようが次期聖杯は溢れ出す。10年前の再来だ。ただし、こたびの義は俺ではなくお前に与えられたものだがな。
Looking up at the red burning sky, the Golden Knight smiles.
喜べ、セイバー。あれを浴びればお前も俺と同じになれる。この世で肉を持ち第二の生を謳歌できよう。まあもっとも俺のように自我を保てるとは限らんか。
Saber looks up at her enemy in amazement. Saber can tell that thing is a great curse. It is a magnificent cluster of magical energy, and any magic should be possible with that amount. If it were caster using it, nothing would be impossible. But it's a double-edged sword. That thing can only curse people. If immersed in such a thing, even heroic spirit would be unable to keep themselves together. That makes her realize. Serve it in front of her. The knight called the oldest king of heroes, he was swallowed by that pollution 10 years ago. So,
ギルガメッシュ、あなたは。
he's gone insane already.
ほう、そう思うか、騎士よ。
That makes me feel much more comfortable about that chaotic good. Laughing, Gilgamesh looks down at Saber. His face looks crazy, and it suits him.
侮るな。あの程度の呪い、飲み干せなくて何が英雄か。この世すべての悪？はっ、俺を染めたければ、その3倍は持ってこい。良いか、セイバー。英雄とはな、己が視界に入るすべての人間を背負うもの。この世のすべてなぞ、とうの昔に背負っている。
Saber gasps quietly at his words. She will never be able to come to terms with this heroic spirit, his arrogant thinking, his selfishness to consider himself the greatest, and his merciless nature that never thinks of others. This is different from the path of the king she chose, a set of beliefs that she will never overlap with hers. But this man is still a king. She can say that with confidence. Of all the servants, this man is the only one who would be capable of keeping his sanity after being soaked in that vast curse. Well, we're going back and forth on this.
そうだな。泥を飲ませるのはいいが、それで自我を失われては楽しみがない。どれ、今のうちに婚姻を決めておくか。
ギルガメッシュ、貴様。
なんだ、手荒く扱われるのは趣味ではないか？ならば慣れておけ。女と食事に出し惜しみはしない主義でな。気の向くままに奪い、食らうだけだ。
Held upside down, Saber glares at Gilgamesh.
サーバントとしてマスターに義理を立てているわけか。くだらんな。たかが霊樹の縛りでこの体をくれてやっていたとは。
それは違う。勘違いをするな、ギルガメッシュ。私は誰にも従わない。初めからこの体にそんな自由はないのだ。
ほう。ではどうあっても俺のものにはならないというのか。
His red eyes pierce Saber. There's no human emotion. He will kill if she disobeys. He will just kill her no matter how attached she was to her. These are his true feelings. Gilgamesh's truth. Saber stares back at Gilgamesh, averting her gaze. Not averting her gaze. It's different.
私は誰のものにもならない。私はすでに国のものだ。この身は女である前に王なのだから。
She does not say it to anyone. She just says so, feeling the small warmth still within her body.
何を言うかと思えば。笑わせるな、セイバー。王にとって国とは己のものに過ぎない。何もかも支配できぬのならば王などという超越者は不要なのだ。まったく。アーサー王よ。そんなだからお前は国によって滅ぼされたのだ。
The Golden Knight sneers at her immaturity. That brings back her determination.
ああ、その通りだ。だが英雄王よ、そんなだから貴様は自らの国を滅ぼしたのだ。
A roared yell full of spirit. Saber uses her whole body to kick Gilgamesh in the face with her free leg. Gilgamesh lets go. Saber stays upside down and jumps using her arms.
男子を足毛に。どうやら本格的にしつけられたいらしいな。セイバー！
She closes her eyes and looks within herself. That is why you were destroyed by your own country. She already knew that. She has heard those words over and over since she was summoned as Saber. That man is different. He was mad like it was his own affair, but still, he thought that it was something to be proud of. There was only one thing that must be done. Even if there is not the slightest chance of winning, she cannot stop it. While the warmth is still in her heart, she must run to her master as fast as possible. About 8 meters to Gilgamesh. She places herself at the best range she found early. Her body will not move as she wishes. Her legs do not have even a tenth of their original power, and the arms holding her sword are weak. She will fall without being able to block, no matter what kind of weak attack she receives. But there are no openings in Saber's stance, nor is there any hesitation. Gilgamesh has to prepare himself seeing her like that. The Golden Knight readies Ea and looks at his opponent. Saber does not answer. Her eyes show her determination. The air roars. The sword of separation, Ea, a sword said in ancient Mesopotamia who have divided and created the world. Gilgamesh's sword of separation roars to exterminate its enemy for shortness. Swirl of air and magical energy within far exceed excitement.
消えろ目障りだ
Ia is raised. Saber raises her sword to match it. Their gazes meet only for an instant. Gilgamesh's sword is, but Saber's sword falls without power, as she's unable to activate them as a cannon. The light that cuts everything charges. Unable to do anything, she is swallowed by the light. The instant I am swallowed by the darkness, hell is printed into my brain. The starting penalty is 5. Life penalty, body penalty, freedom penalty, fame penalty, fortune penalty. Give the penalty that extends so much punishment, mud, darkness, and malice. Elimination of human rights by castration, exile, execution. Torture and sadism upon the body through digestion. Denial by consensus of the colony that eliminates all honor. Die. Scorn from judgment and selfishness that takes away men's fortunes. Death penalty, penal servitude. Imprisonment, custody, fine, penalty. Crime from a grudge. Crime from self-insert. Unconscious crime. Self-conscious crime. Civil war. Inducement. False statement. Theft. Robbery. Kidnap. Suicide. Rape. Arson. Bombing. Violation. Negligent. Homicide. Mass violence. Death at work. Overconfident accident. Die. Misdiagnosis. Concealment. Violation of benefit. Violation of self-protection. Violation for love. Violation for respect. Selfish. Stealing. Fraudulent. Fraud. Concealment. Murder. Theft. Crime. Crime. Personal grudge. Attack. 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 Dirty, dirty, dirty. You are dirty. Atone, 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 atone. Every violence, every crime, every victim atone for everything. This world is ruled by something not human, known the conscious to reform crimes. Die. Know the penalty to reform crimes. People's kindness is here. There is so much it cannot be noticed. Know the violence to hide crimes. Know the power to hide crimes. People's malignance is here. It is so rare that it is noticed. 100 kindness and 1 malignance. Malignance shines bright to keep the balance and exist as a great evil to compete with the masses of kindness. The starting penalty is 5. Die. For self. For self. For self. For self. For self. Die. My brain explodes. The mud eating away at my body remains and steals my warmth mercilessly. I am crushed by the thing seeping through all 5 senses. Darkness, I cannot look at it directly. Ugliness, I cannot acknowledge. Crimes I want to run away from. Every crime of the person in this world. That is why I'm going to die. One trapped in the darkness will eat themselves to death from pain and hatred. But Kotomine said that this curse killed Kiritsugu. The fact knocks away every darkness. Warmth returns to my body. Blood flows through my beaten body and makes it stand. It's only natural. Such a thing. Emiya Kiritsugu had burdened with this for many years. He was pressed by the voices for atonement and died unable to fulfill his wish. He said he wanted to become a superhero. He ran around trying to help someone, but could not get anyone's permission for that. Yet he still did what he could to pursue the ideals he had abandoned. In the end, he was relieved by something a kid said and nodded to himself that everything was okay. So I have to stand up. I relieved Kiritsugu and promised that I'd become one. If Emiya Shiro is really that superhero's son, then I can't let the bad guy beat me. Tosaka said I should win no matter what. Saber said he is the enemy that I must defeat. Even Kotomine said if I'm going to fight, I should put my life on the line. They're right. What else can I bet if I won't bet my life? From the beginning, I have nothing else to give. I leap desperately out of the dense black mud. I can hear his bewilderment. My throat is burning. My windpipe tears every time I breathe. Tears. Oh, jeez. And it feels like I'm swallowing pieces of wax. I don't care. Tears are welling up from anger. I'm going to go crazy from anger before I can go crazy from the curse.
バカな。あれを振り払ったというのか、お前が。
I push my body and run. I put one hand behind my back. I grab the dagger I've hidden until now.
呆れたな。あれから逃れたかと思えばその短絡思考。もはや万策尽きたというところか。
うるさい。初めから万策なんて持ってねえ。
Yeah, that's about right. I run. Kotomine sticks his hand into the waterfall behind him and attracts another clump of darkness.
手はサーバントの後を追うがいい。先の光はセーバーが破れたものだ。お前にはもはや誰の助けもない。
All my hesitation disappears. If I do reach Kotomine, I think his biggest mistake was that line. Because of the command spell is on my left hand, it's the only proof I have. As long as my command spell exists, Saber exists. If she exists, she must have defeated Gilgamesh by now and she'll be heading over here. I think Saber will be angry if I don't greet her with open arms. So I will defeat you now to fulfill the last promise I made with her. Darkness approaches. A great curse is released from Kotomine's hand. My body melts from my fingertips. I won't look away. If this is my role, there is still something I can do. A dislocation runs through space. A flash of light and a roar of wind, a swirl of destruction, is set loose from Io. With that in front of her, Saber could not even use her noble phantom. She lowers her sword and moves her body forward as if she's falling. The light approaches. She cannot avoid it with her injured legs, and there is no shield in this world that could block Io. A storm of light and wind that will destroy everything in its path. Nothing can stand against the true name of Ea. That is a fact that cannot be changed. Yes. Until a few hours ago. The one surprise is not Saber, but the Golden Knight bearing Ea. Ea is still emitting magical energy, bringing forth destruction. And Saber steps forward into this tumbling storm of light. Armor screams out. Cracks run through every wall of magical energy protected. In the period shorter than a second that they endure the attack, Saber steps up to Gilgamesh and she opposes Ea's destruction with the greatest power she is permitted. Heat and light rumble wildly. The crash of the greatest swords push against each other with pure power and creating a boundary in space. But is it not useless? Excalibur cannot beat Ea. Even if she approaches at the risk of her life, she can only push back just a little. Balance easily favors Ea. Excalibur is lightly repelled back along with Saber. Readying Ea, the Golden Knight looks at the enemy approaching him again and puts magical energy into Ea. This will be it. He will totally annihilate Saber with all his power. Ea turns reach their maximum speed, and the light surrounding Saber mows down Excalibur. But just before that, Saber's body jumped forward. A small space created by Saber, a place where she can take one more step. The instant she reaches it, the noble phantasm appears. The darkness becomes a raging wind to cover Amiyashiro. There is no way to avoid it, and the concept of blocking is useless against a curse that paints space itself. Those swallowed by the darkness will be absorbed by it and the painted space. Body melts from the fingertips. Legs moving forward step onto empty space, and arms reaching out are already invisible in the black mud. Amiyashiro will be eliminated from the outside. Attacked by the feeling that his body is shrinking, Amiyashiro does not accept death. Without looking forward, he rejects it with all his might. The darkness surrounding his body, the pain trying to melt the body, and the curse trying to melt the mind. But they are futile attempts. There is no way for a mere human to resist the pollution. The body is still moving. The arm is raised, is grab something, is still raised. But the mind is already destroyed. The mind is already painted in black. The body should disappear into darkness as well. In that moment, why is that voice remembered? A light turns on the darkness. The instant the eyes realize the light is that light, everything reverses. The hammer comes knocking down. The mind accelerates, crackles with sparks, and creates the shape with unbelievable speed. The spell to begin projection is murmured. In an instant, it is completed, omitting every step of manufacture. That is right. There was no need to reproduce it from scratch, because the shape was engraved in the body. It is perfect in memory, as it was part of Amiyashiro's body. The arm reaching out still moves. The weapon created without concentration or spellcasting is grabbed. The world changes completely as the darkness is destroyed by a golden light. In Miyashiro's hand is a perfectly reproduced sheaf of Satan. And like that, with Io straight ahead of her, her noble phantasm is activated. That which is released and scattered before her is the holy sword sheath. No one knows what kind of divine mystery it is made from, but the sheath repels all light emitted by it. No, it goes beyond level of the fencer. It is a complete isolation. The barrier of fairyland that keeps out all filth from the outside land. A complete world separate from this one that can never be reached. The saber is protected by the sheath of the holy sword. She is blocked off from all matter in this world. The greatest protection in this world. The greatest that cannot be infringed by anything, not even by 5 sorceries. For that reason, that sheath is named Avalon. All is a distant utopia. The place where King Arthur is said to have gone after his death. The utopia the king dreamed of that will never be reached. Gilgamesh sees the death running up his spine. But he won't make it. The raised Io will not stop turning, and Gilgamesh cannot manage to jump back. It's only natural. Who would even think that an attack with that much magical energy, with that much power, could be blocked? Blue cloves run in. There's no armor on Satan. She has released the armor protecting her, but the magical energy gained into her sword and all darkness is blown away the instant the sheath is grabbed. The darkness surrounding Miyashiro, the darkness contaminating his body, everything is dispersed. There is no reason to be surprised. The sheath of the holy sword protects its possessor. The embodiment of utopia she sought cannot lose to this dirty mud. He runs. At that moment, he is released from the darkness. His speed is like that of a shooting star. The one overestimating their ability and the one who cannot even spare to think about such things. The difference is only an instant, but an instant that decides the outcome. Still falling, Miyashiro runs on his hands as well. In one hand is the dagger. In a crouching position, running to the Black Priest, the sword of retribution is stabbed into the priest's chest. The priest turns slowly. Before that, stopping himself with his feet, Miyashiro jumps back. Wind comes down. The priest turns to face the enemy who stabbed him. At the same time, 2 impacts pierce Kotomine Kira. The spinning body and all the magical energy left in his left hand, he punches the dagger in the priest's chest and oh shit. The magical energy poured into Azov's sword along with the word of release. The golden sword was swung. She must not even have the energy to raise it back up. Saber keeps her sword and her face down. Flashed up, the man beholds the knight that has defeated him. The sound of wind echoes through the compound. The waves of light, like a flood, are no more. The two knights share no words as they place themselves in a parting called the battle's end. And the man sighs. He raises his weak hand and touches the cheek of the knight in front of him as it makes sure she exists.
憎らしい女だ。最後までこの俺に歯向かうか。
The golden armor starts to fade away. The existence of the King of Heroes is disappearing.
だが許そう。手に入らぬからこそ美しいものもある。
His fingers slip. His ram's arms fall powerlessly to the ground.
ならばこそ俺がお前に敗れるは必要だったか。
He says it solemnly. And in his final moments,
ではな、騎士王。いや、なかなかに楽しかったぞ。
he smiles ironically and disappears. Sparks fly onto the priest's uniform. Sparks are coming from the dagger in his chest. No chunks of flesh or blood are flying out. But still, the battle here is over as well. He doesn't even look at me. He's just looking down at the dagger in his chest in disbelief. The wind is blowing. The wind is coming from the void. Above eliminates the sounds around it. In the rumbling silence,
なぜお前がこの剣を持っている。
Kurumine Kire murmurs in a clear voice.
それは俺のじゃない。遠坂から預かったものだ。
How long was he thinking? He sighs, and the body that he hasn't moved since the beginning of the confrontation finally moves.
そうか。以前気まぐれでどこぞの娘にくれてやったことがあった。あれは確か10年前か。なるほど。私も衰えるはずだ。
He falls. The body of the priest falls to the ground. I watch it all. He has talked about himself like he was someone else until the very end. And the priest sinks into that which he summoned, that which he wished for. That is the end of the man called Kurumine Kire. And the true end of the long battle. The enemy is gone, and I face the final large task. The black void in the sky. That mud has stopped, but the strange void is still beating. That is the Holy Grail. The omnipotent grail that would have been given to the winner of the war. There's a wind blowing. Kotomine is gone, and the power binding Ilya must have vanished. Ilya is now free of that void, and she's sleeping by my side. I don't know what condition she's in, but it doesn't seem like her life is in danger. She should wake up fine if I go home and have Tosaka look at her. War is ended. Nobody else is going to get hurt. I won't lose anyone else. Masters are gone, and servants will disappear as their tasks are over. I already knew this was going to happen. We climbed those long stairs together. Our parting is already done. All left is to close the curtains. I wait with an empty mind, looking up at the void. And she appears. She walks straight towards me, her figure unchanged since the first time I saw her. She stops close enough that I could reach out to her. There are no words to confirm her safety or to congratulate her on the victory. This was something that was already decided, so there's only one thing left to do.
聖杯を破壊します。それが私の役割です。
So saying, she starts to walk. The strong winds do not affect her as she approaches it step by step. She must be in range. She quietly readies her sword and looks at the black void. I stare at her back, clench my fist hard, bite my lip, and stifle the words about to come out of my mouth, and then engrave her figure into my memory. And then,
マスター、命令を。あなたの命がなければ、あれは破壊できない。
with her back to me, she tells me to use my last command spell. Saber will disappear once the Holy Grail is destroyed. No, as she will destroy the Holy Grail, she will never again become a servant. Saber became a servant because she sought the Holy Grail. Destroying the Holy Grail out of her own will means destroying her contract as well. If she destroys the Holy Grail, she will end her life as the king.
シロ、あなたの声で聞かせてほしい。
Saber's voice. Every time I hear it, I want to scream to tell her not to go. I want to throw away my pride and scream for her to stay. But it's something I should not do even for the sake of my life. I love Saber. I want her to be happier than anyone else. I want to be with her forever. But if I truly love her, that's wrong. I loved Saber as she continued to fight even after getting hurt. She was a girl who discarded everything, was filled with injuries, yet still protected all the way through. If I consider that beautiful and want to protect it, I cannot destroy her life just for my own selfishness. She was born as a king and lived as a king. That will not change no matter what. From the time she swore to carry the sword, the girl became a king and nothing else. That is her pride. She ran through the battles so that in the final moments she would be able to believe her path was the right one. The dreams of the girl Artoria. The mind that chose to be the king over her own life. To fight. Even after she learned it would be unrewarded, she still clasped the sword and defended the oath of the king. For many years, I cannot do anything to dishonor the pride that she has held until the time of her death.
セイバー、その責務を果たしてくれ。
I say so with a flood of emotions. An overflowing light. The void in the sky is cut in half by the light and disappears without a trace. There's nothing left. The destroyed mountain is now a flat field. Dawn is in the distance. The horizon is shining in gleaming gold. My left hand hurts. My last command spell disappears. That makes me accept that the curtains have been drawn.
これで終わったのですね。
あ、これで終わりだ。もう何も残ってない。
そうですか。では私たちの契約もここまでですね。あなたの剣となり、敵を撃ち、近江を守った。この約束を果たせてよかった。
そうだな。セイバーはよくやってくれた。
Nothing more needs to be said. Saber is far away, and I do not run to her. The morning sun rises. The halted wind begins again. A gold that seems to last forever. In it,
最後に一つだけ伝えないと。
she says in a voice filled with determination.
まあ、どんな。
I reply like always, with my best bluff. Saber's body wavers. She is facing me. She looks straight at me in a voice without regret.
シロ、あなたを愛している。
Says those words. Wind blows. I close my blinded eyes and open them again. Jesus. I don't think there's any surprise. I kind of saw this coming, that our parting would be like this. An open field fills my eyes. As the wind blew, the night disappeared, just as she appeared, leaving no trace.
本当にお前らしい。
There are no regrets in my voice. I squint at the rising sun, keeping everything I lost close to my heart. I stare at the horizon, wishing never to forget and for it to never fade away. A distant land glowing in sunlight, resembling the golden fields she ran through.